deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Lions Nation Night Live, as we are 2 days away from the NFL draft, and I am here with my buddy, my pal, Ant-Man. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, Mike. It's Christmas Eve. We're about ready to get our sack full of presents from Brad Holmes in the form of a load of new players. I'm looking forward to it. I'm barely able to sleep at the minute. I just want this thing to be here. I'm ready.
I'm with you. I am ready for the NFL draft, and in today's show, it's going to be our final mock draft that we're going to do. I asked Ant-Man if we can do one with a trade and without a trade. And these mock draft that we're going to do, it's what we think the Lions are going to do. Not necessarily what we would do, but what we think after all of this offseason, the Lions potentially could do for the draft here in 2 days. It's going to be fun, and that's what we're going to be getting here. Before that, I am on the radio today, 96.1 FM. That is ESPN. Huge show, West Michigan. Check it out. I'll be on there. I think it's from 4 to 5. We'll be talking about the NFL draft. Live with my good friend Bill from the Huge Show. That's my other job now. So if you want to hear live, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about mock draft, it will be at 4 to 5 on 96.1 FM, Huge Show, ESPN. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. So that's going to be really, really fun. Okay, Ant-Man. We want to do our final mock draft, right? The final mock draft of what we think the Detroit Lions are going to do. We could do a fan mock draft too after, because we got plenty of time. I think it's going to be real fun, and that's what it is. So we're going to go ahead and enter this one. We're going to do the trade scenario first, Ant-Man. Okay, so I'm going to have you go first. You do your 7-round mock draft. I know we're doing a trade scenario. What are you thinking like 15, 14 just before we get into this?
I'm thinking 20. Like
20.
if you hold on about 20 or 21 for me, I'm thinking that's a sweet spot.
Okay, because it's just I put it on the speed, so I got to just kind of know this before as it starts. So, I didn't. Let me get this speed going. I don't want it to be this slow. So that's why. All right, so he's going to be 20 around 21. This is what he thinks. So we're going to do this to get close to there and start to slow it down. Okay, we're at 20.
So I do believe that when he gets to 20 or 20, this again, I have no idea what he's going to do, but just personally, I think you're going to get here. You're going to get the defensive talent that's fallen to this point, whether it be corner, etc., and you go get it. Like at this point, I'd be going up for Newton. I'd be taking him, but.
All right, so
I don't know, depends what he's got there. It's fine.
We'll get right back to it. Yeah, we'll get right back to it. All right, so okay, so we'll go here.
You can stop. In fact, no. If Verse is staying there, then like I do think you go the edge department. So this is where I go up and I take the defensive talent. That's what I think he'll do, because again, we are a couple of guys away, not a lot of guys, and Brad likes just specific guys. This draft is going to be offense heavy. We all know that at this point, and it's going to push guys down the board who should be there a lot higher into our range. I'm always happy giving up the Philly 4th, and maybe I don't know if the Philly 4 does it on its own.
What do you think about if you're going up 9 spots, a 3rd round pick this year and a 4th round next year? Do you think that would cover it?
I think so, yeah. Because I mean, when the Packers went for Love, they went from 29 to 25. They gave up 2 fourths, so 3rd and 4th.
So this is what Ant-Man thinks. Lions trading up from 29 to the 20th pick. and it's going to be giving them a third and a fourth next year. I'm going to throw in just to force this trade to go. It's not giving up a first, folks. It's just to force the trade to go for next year. So you're just a third and a fourth next year. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying pick Jared Verse. That's what you think they would do.
Yeah. If they're right, it might be, it might be a corner, it might be an edge, but he'd be the guy. Like, he shouldn't be there at all. So that's where you're willing to give up a bit of capital to go and do it. I believe, that's the thing I believe they've been going to do for a very long time now. Like, you need the right guys, not many guys.
Okay, so Ant-Man's his final mock draft, Lions trading up from 29 to 20. They give up a third-round pick this year, fourth round in Philadelphia's this upcoming season. He gets Jared Verse, which I think would be amazing. I would absolutely go crazy happy if this occurred. I love this mock draft, what he thinks he's going to do. A+ for me. Okay, so
see, then I would go. I would have taken a trade back at that point if there was one, but they're gonna, because we're out of picks, I guess, at this point.
I do agree. I think they could trade back from the second round, maybe to pick up a fourth round pick, right? Because we currently don't have one.
See, in a lot, the one I like to do is I don't have 71 anymore, but is trade that with the Steelers for a couple. But I would try and trade it here just to get a bit back. I don't know.
Let's see. So what is positions that people like? I don't know. Who do you think would want to trade up? It'd probably be for a quarterback, but I don't see one that's right here. Michael Penix is now probably going to go in the first round. So I don't think it'd be for that.
Oh, he'll be gone there.
But you would attempt to trade back maybe to pick up another pick somewhere. I would.
But if it's not, then who's on the board here? I don't know at this point. Usually I'd be going corner now if it was me, but I don't know. Have a look what corners are left.
Kalen Carson, we did do a visit with him. He did come here.
We did.
For a visit. Yes, he did.
We did. I know my guys like him. You know what? Take Kalen then. I would be looking at corner at this spot.
I think
that will be my day 2 pick.
And folks, they actually draft from their 30 visits. It's 50% so far. So you may I don't know, but Roman Wilson, they brought him in. Kalen Carson, they brought him in, and I think I'd take Kalen over Roman. But so you're gonna go taking a corner in round 2. We got an edge. This would be a great draft so far. You've got the edge, you've got the corner. Yeah, we had to lose a third round pick to jump up there, but you got Jared Verse for basically a third round pick. I'll take that all day.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're back on here, man. Round 5.
Ooh, see, this would be. We need a safety. I think we need a veteran, but there is a potential to have one here. Carles has always been my guy from Missouri, but I do like Oladapo as well. They're all safeties here at this point. I'd take Oladapo here actually because he's more of a Swiss. He's more of the Aaron Glenn mold. You can sort of play him all over. He's not just a safety. You can play him in the nickel and the slots. So I would put Oladipo in there. I'd be quite happy with that actually.
Yeah, and I agree with you. They like universal players. Yep.
Oh, and then you give me Christian Boyd right away. Christian Boyd should not be there at this point. I would be taking him on day 2, personally. I think he'll go day 2, but I absolutely love him out of Northern Iowa. I know we've spoken to him because one of our friends works at the Shrine Bowl. They know we've been talking to him a lot, and he is exactly what we need in there. Powerful, explosive, disruptive against the run, and just such a high ceiling. So he'd be there for me if he's still there.
I think that I'm looking at your draft right now, man. This is a very possible draft. This is something I think they absolutely could do. They 100%. We're back on the clock at 2:05.
Oh, that's Josh Cephas territory for me. He'll not be there, but you can type it in. But that's a receiver I've wanted for a year now. So he's down the list, but yeah, he's there. He's
Cephas.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Cephas this year in Detroit.
I absolutely love him. He's great. He's going to be great.
Okay, we got one pick left here. What do you think?
Doesn't let you do kickers on here, does it? I'd be doing a kicker at this point. Yep, does it?
Kicker. Yep. Cardi, Little.
Oh, Mevis. Harrison Mevis, the thicker kicker.
Okay, so this is Ant-Man's what he thinks the Detroit Lions going to do draft. Traded up for Jared Verse, A+. Kalen Carson, he is a target. Keaton, Olankbo, Christian Boyd, a faller, Cephas, and Cephas and Mevis. Yeah, for sure. I think this is a very close one, very close to something that they would do here. Now, I like it. Now let's do a mock draft with the Ant-Man without a trade. So this would be if they stay at 29, and there's going to be trades, but it's really difficult, right? Too. So that's what he says a realistic possibility. What's up, Keitho? What's up, James? What's up, Justin? Big Arms Chase leads to DeLorenzo. All right, we're back on the clock. We're not doing a trade. We're sitting at 29. What do you think they do?
Ooh, it's between Cam and JPJ there. Like, they'll be if Jackson Powers Johnson's there. Like, I feel I think that would be the move. Like, Brad likes his trenches. We're going to need to invest We're going to need to invest at least one pick in the O-line in the top 2 days. If he's there, that's your right guard for next year potentially, and then your center for the future when Ragnar's done. I think that would be. Yeah.
I think that's realistic too. 100%. They like Jackson Powers Johnson. He fits the mold of Dan Campbell. He's universal, played guard and center. You don't have to worry about him. We have position of kind of a need after this year. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we're sitting at now round 2, pick 61. Couple players on here that the Lions have met. Marshawn Nealon, one of those players. Chris Jenkins, Chris Broswell.
See, Jenkins is the one I like, but Nealon is very intriguing. Like, his position of need, which doesn't really mean much with Brad, but like, they've done a lot of work on him, and I don't know where his position. It's odd, but a lot of players I know where roughly they should be drafted. I don't know with Nealon because he's come from that far down the board, right up to the top. I think that would be something they'd do if they believe in him. I think they will go Nealon here. So, and it works
I think
for
they
us.
very well could as well. If he's sitting there, I agree with you. I do. Okay, but we're now back here, 73, round 3. What do you think the Lions going to do? We turn around. We got some good talent.
So I've got a center and a edge. So I think a corner here. Just list the corners at this point. I think you've got to figure. This is what the Lions do. I know who I'd take there. I'd take Cad at that point, but I don't know if that's what they do. I'm a bit stumped here. I know receiver they said is a possibility.
Yes.
Who's there? Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan. I don't know if they've specifically been after any of these guys or not.
I haven't seen them, no, on the list of the 30 visits.
They've met Lassiter, haven't they? I don't know if he's a top 30, but they've met Lassiter. I'd put Lassiter in there just because it's a corner. Like, even if I'm getting the right guys, I'm figuring position here. Would be something that they'd do.
All right, now we don't have a 4th round pick. I do think we will eventually when we trade back, maybe in the 2nd or 3rd round or something like that.
I think that 71 pick's going to be the one that goes.
Yeah.
164 at this point. What do you do? See, I know they've met Casey. Like, Casey is like Malcolm was 2 years ago. Like special teams extraordinaire who could be a really good linebacker at the next level. But would they do it at that high? It feels a little too high. Just scroll down the list a little, see who's in. Foster's there, Garrett Greenfield's there, Henderson's there. No. Keep scrolling a little bit. Christian
Boyd.
You know what? Put Boyd in there again. I do believe the interest in Boyd is genuine. And
Yeah,
if he's there,
this is a what you think they're gonna do. So yeah, 100%.
absolutely. And then I think they're going to double dip at corner. We're going to see two. Who's left at corner? Just put the corner list up. Nehemiah Pritchett. They've met him a lot, and I quite like him. So this would be the exact kind of territory where I think they would. I put Cephas in again because I do. Again, this is just me, but I think he's the perfect fit for us. It was just like with Nasua last year. I've just had a feeling about him all year. I've been watching him, and he's great.
All right, so we got one final pick, and are you going to go kicker?
I'm going to pick the kicker again. I'm going to pick the kicker again.
What one do you want on here?
Mevis, if he's there. Oh, is he gone? He's gone.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not. He's down there.
Right here.
He's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is no trade scenario. This is the man. What he thinks the Detroit Lions do. Jackson Powers Johnson, Marshawn Nealon, Kamarly Lassiter, Christian Boyd, Nemea Pritchett, Josh Cephas, Harrison Mevis.
Bum, like that.
Bum. Yep. That's a good or realistic mock draft for a 7-round mock draft. All right. Now I'm going to do mine here, and I'm going to start the trade scenario first. I really do think the Lions going to trade up in the draft. So let me see if I can get to where I think they're going to get to. All right, we're going to do here. I think it's going to be 14 or 15 where I think the Lions will do a trade up, proposed trade here. I think they're going to go from 29 to 14 or 15. Let me get the team on here. We're going to kind of force the trade. So they get, we get 14. They get 61.
The Saints and the Broncos would be the ones you'd look at because they don't have much draft capital at the top. So if you're looking for guys who might drop quite far, like they would be the one. I think the Saints certainly should not be picking where they are. I think that's a good shout if that's where they're going to go high.
No, I'm not throwing a first-round pick here. I'm just forcing the trade. That's all it is. All right. Oh, not even that force the trades. That's why you do it. Let me do this again. Let me force a trade. I'll throw in a bunch of picks. All right, again, it's not me actually doing this crazy trade. Just trying to force it. Okay. And see, they don't even want to trade. Let me see. Resume draft. All right. Well, I'm trying to trade up here. Post trade. Let me see if I can force it with them. I still think it's more 14 or 15. So it's just, unfortunately, I'm having a hard time doing this right now. So There we go. All right. So oh my God, it's just not even forcing a trade. Oh my God. Force the trade. Force the trade. All right, it's just forcing the trade. Okay, so the trade's been forced. The line's sitting here. This is the options. It's really 14 or 15 for me, but just missed out on it. I think the line's going to draft Herring and Arnold. We trade up. I think they do. Why do I think that they're going to do this? Because first off, they like Alabama corners. He gets 5 turnovers. They've brought him in for a 50 visit or a 30 visit. They've been to his pro day, and they met him multiple times. I think that's who they go. So before you guys rip on me, this is not what I'm thinking they're going to do. It's what I think they are going to do. They go ahead and take the corner right there. If we're going up that high, you're probably going to lose your second-round pick. That's the problem here. That's what I don't like about it. But that's kind of what I think they would do. Then we'd be back in the clock in round 3. I know they want to get a wide receiver. They have met Roman Wilson. The problem is he's a small guy. And I don't know if that's something they would want to do here. But if we traded out or to lose second round pick, we maybe trade down from 73 to get something. But I'm going to go with defensive tackle Braden Fisk. Interior defensive line, they've been wanting to do that. They've brought in corners and interior defensive linemen more than any position else for trade downs. This is the problem. Look how many non-players you're going to have here. So and then you're probably looking for edge. You're looking for a wide receiver, and it's going to be quite difficult here. 6'1" Luke McCaffrey, very possible. Go wide receiver. And you lose all these draft picks. And then the safety, I do think that they're going to target the safety, and because this name's been going up quite a bit, but he's not even on here. Cyan Vaki. So I would suspect probably somewhere in this area to get somebody like that. So, and then your special teams would probably be a kicker at the very end. Same as you. Same as you. They could go any lineman there. Then they can go kicker. Get special teams up here. Then they draft a kicker with the final pick. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If they were to trade up, this is what it could look like, right? You get a corner, defensive tackle, wide receiver, safety, and then just backup position and kicker. That's if they were to trade up. That'd be if to trade up. Now, I want to do it without trades, what it could look like. And then we'll do some Q&A and have some fun. Oh, crap. I didn't pick the Lions. I hate when that happens. All right. So if they trade up, I'm thinking it's for Terrion Arnold for the corner. That's that's basically what the whole thing is about. All right. If they're sitting here and Kool-Aid's gone, this is what I think they're going to do. Darius Robinson. I think that will be the pick. If there is not if Kool-Aid is gone, if Nate Wiggins is gone, I think Darius Robinson could be the pick with the 29th pick if they stay there. I know the Lions like him. They need edge, and he wants to be a Lion. It seems like a match made, what I think could happen if they stay at 29. So if Kool-Aid's here, I would go Kool-Aid. If he's not, I'm going to go with Darius Robinson, what I think the Lions will do. Reject. They're sitting at 61. I think what they're going to do is Xavier Legette. They even brought him in today. They brought him in before. They like the 6'1" receiver from South Carolina. If he's sitting there at pick 61, I think that's who they draft.
Oh, Mike, you're creating my ultimate nightmare draft here.
I'm telling what I think they're going to do, man. This is what I think they're going to do. It could be a nightmare.
Go Trice next. That'll make it even worse.
I agree with you with Lassiter. I do. I agree with you there for the defense at the corner. They've brought in so many corners, and I think if they decided not to get Kool-Aid, I think that he could be an option in round 3. I 100% agree. $5 million picks later. All right, so I already had Justin O'Bigby on a mock draft, so I'm going to do it again for my finalized. That could be a defensive tackle they take. Alabama. They like Alabama players. Sitting at 201. Safety is kind of what I'm looking for, and I do think they like Cyan Vaki. That's what I'm going to take. But they're sitting here, 2 picks left. You already know where I'm going with the final pick. Maybe they go offensive line here, but I'm thinking if there's a backup tackle, that's what they're going to do. Let's see, because we don't got a good backup tackle. We'll go Caden Wallace to be our backup tackle. Then we're going to take a kicker at the end. That's what I think the Detroit Lions will do. Something like this. So this is what I think the Lions would do if they stay at the pick. Kool-Aid or Darius Robinson, one of those players. I do think they like Xavier Legette at 61. Last hitter, or if they don't take Legette, you could go another corner in round 2. Then defensive tackle, safety, tackle, kicker. That's what I think they do. That's what I think. Let's get back to this. So you looked at all that, Ant-Man. What do you guys think of the comment section? I know you're not wanting to go Legette. I know you're not wanting to go Darius Robinson, but I truly do believe the Lions like those guys.
Hey, look,
I've talked to them so many times.
As soon as they put the jersey on, they're my guys. Like that's it.
Oh yeah,
trust Brad implicitly. Like, you know, I just talking head on the internet, so it doesn't really matter much. But there's a lot he could do, and none of us know what he's gonna do. It's just my gut feeling here. Like, you're gonna, you know, Brad has always been a proponent of quality, not quantity, and it's worked for us. You only need to hit on 2 or 3 guys in a draft. You only need to hit on 2 or 3 guys in a draft, and it's a successful one. And he's done that in pretty much every draft so far. And we've not really had a ton of picks come out. It's not like we've had a class of 10 or 12 or anything crazy like that. We don't need to.
Are you drafting positions or players? Players. Brad Holmes drafts players, but sometimes you get matchup need with what you want, and I'm showing you a list of the players they like. They do draft from their 30 visit. That's the thing. And so when you look at their 30 visits, you can see the players they like. It's not hidden. This is something they do quite a bit. And so here's the 30 visits that they got. Wide receiver Roman Wilson, Xavier Legette, Marshawn Nealon, a bunch of defensive tackles, and I like Jersey Newton, but look at all these corners, man. So that's the players they like, and it's a lot of defense. A lot of defense. So you guys, questions, put it in the comment section right now. We'll go ahead and answer them. Let's see. He says he'd been calling for Newton since week 4 last season. Jersey Newton? Yeah, I like it, man. I want the interior defensive tackle. 100%. I will not be upset about that. Ant-Man nailed it with the trade up for Verse. He did. Now, if that occurs, that's called home run. You get Jared Verse at 2021. That's game for me. That would be getting an A+ draft right there. And he's fallen, Ant-Man. It could happen. It's like you're starting to see players fall a little bit. You're seeing him fall, Verse a little bit. You're seeing Marshawn Nealon climb up a whole freaking round. He was a 3rd-round pick. Now he's in the 2nd round. You're starting to see some movement, Ant-Man.
Exactly. And again, this is why I've been on this train of thought for a while, because when it became very apparent that there was going to be a lot of offensive guys taken, like, this is perfect to be in that 25 to 30 range issue. If you're going to want to trade up a little bit, because there's teams up there that need picks and need to come back. But the amount of quarterbacks, receivers that are going to go early, then you've got the corners are going to come into play. They're going to push the D-line talent down the board. So, and by luck for us, it seems Byron Murphy's made a late resurgence up the board, which would be terrible for whoever drafts him. But that's great for us because it's going to push guys even further down. Not because they're bad, but just because teams at the top have needs and they're scrapping out for these guys and they're going to be all over them. So Verse will fall, may fall, Newton may fall, hell, one of your corners that you like may fall, whether it be Terry and Arnold, Quinion Mitchell, somebody. And it'll put you in that range where you're like, it doesn't matter if you give up a 3rd-round pick for them or whatever, because that's tremendous value. And you've still got 2 day 2 picks to be able to trade and go back and get some of that capital back if you want. So Brad's all about value, man. And I just think some of that defensive talent's just going to fall too tantalizingly close to him for him to be able to pass it up. He will go and actively get it.
Look, if they trade into the 20s like your scenario, you're not giving up a 2nd-round pick and you're getting a great value. That would be an amazing. That's a win-win. If you were to tell me they'd have to just give up a 3rd-round pick to get Jared Verse, I'd be like, who cares about the 3rd round pick? Broderick Martin was a 3rd round pick. We ain't barely played him, so let's get Jared Verse.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I would absolutely like that. Lions, if we do not pick Kool-Aid, which cornerback would you draft?
So for me, in order, it would be Chris Abrams-Drain, then Max Melton. Like, I love the pair of them. They're amazing. They'll be day 2 picks. I think they'd be tremendous. You're going to get corners who are cornerback 1 caliber this year who are not going to be anywhere near the 1st round because of the depth in this draft. So they'd be the 2 instantly I'd go for.
I like Quinyon Mitchell to trade up for him, but I think they trade up for Terran Arnold. That's just my gut feeling. My gut feeling. I got no information on it. I could be completely wrong, but generally I like to go with my gut. If they're going in a different round, I don't know. Rackestraw could be someone in the 2nd round, something like that. But I think they would like, if you've seen how many visits they made with corners, they are doing their research. The whole freaking 30 visits, like 50% of them are just corners. So for sure.
And you've got a mix of them. You've got a mix of day 1 and late day 3 guys. So you're going to see 2 come here.
You're going to see,
Pritchett and Stiggers are day 3 guys. You're going to see one of them, and you're going to see a guy near the top as well, I think.
If I see Brad Jack for the picks, I'm happy. I don't care what we got. Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to be happy whoever they get. I'm that sold on Brad Holmes' ability to draft. If it's someone I don't want, I was wrong. That's literally how I'm going with it there, Ant-Man.
Like, what about, I want to see Dan this year come in, like one of them sparring jackets you get in a boxing gym. Just, Brad smacked him in the ribs last time. I want to see him come in padded up so when Brad goes nuts, like he's protected from it just for a laugh. I think that'd be hilarious. Because you know what Brad's like. He just runs around hitting everything and everybody, and he's great.
Cooper DeJong is stud, and he could play 2 positions, one being safety, in which I think he really could excel in. But he is a corner.
He smacks Green Bay Packers. I'm 95% certain the Packers would draft him.
He does. Yeah, he does scream Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, I'm very confident he's going to be a Packer by the time this process is done. But I would love him here. He's a great player.
Do you think there will be 20 offensive players drafted in the 1st round? 20.
Depends on the quarterbacks in this scenario. Because I think this is all based on there have been 6 quarterbacks. Because then that pushes down like the receivers that people will start coming up to get. It'll push down the offensive line that people come to get. It all bases on where the Penix and Knicks go.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be 5 quarterbacks taken in the 1st round. So we're going to go 5 there. I think 7 wide receivers. Right there. So you're looking at 12. There could be 5 linemen taking, 17.
Much more than, probably loads more than that.
Yes, 17.
I mean, you've got Olu, Fuanga.
Trying to think of at least up till the 29th pick. So there very well could be close. Yeah, it could be.
Brock Bowers is there.
17 to 20.
Well. I think they'll be. I think they're right when they say they'll break the record of 19. I think it's 19's the record.
Yeah, I think it could. How many chest bumps do Brad and Dan have this year? I think the record is 4. I'll go with 4. I think he ties it. Lions jumping in front of the Packers and scoop Cooper DeJong. That would be funny.
That would be funny.
We did that to them last year.
Their YouTubers.
We traded up with them.
They'd be just to go and watch their content creators alone. They would be absolutely distraught.
If we move up and grab Brock Bowers, I can see a reaction coming from you.
We're not doing this.
If we traded up for a tight end.
We're not doing this. Like, everyone's saying we could move into it. We're not doing that. No, stop it. Don't even pretend.
I would be kind of upset because if you're going to trade up, why wouldn't you get if you're going to trade up, go for a premium position like a tackle, an edge, a corner. I would hit tight end, man. Oh man. I know Brock Bowers is good, but come on.
We've just spent 34 on tight end last year. I can't think of many teams that would go top
We're
34
gonna
tight end 2 years in a row.
turn into like the Chicago Bears of old when they had like 17 tight ends in their camp.
Oh Jesus! Like
Oh my
it just,
god.
you know what? Just thinking about it from a pure like luxury point of view, having Bowers and Laporta would just be insane. It would be, but just no, don't do
It
that
would
to me.
be, but there's just I think we'd just be like, "Are you kidding me, man?" But I'll
Again, it
support
feels
him.
like Bowers is going to the Jets at 10, so you've got to go up to
Yeah.
10 to do that deal. Like that's
No,
going
do
to
not.
be that's future first, and your day 2 picks gone. So it's going
Boy,
to
if
be
we
too
trade up
much.
the top 10 for a tight end, I may lose my ass, man. I think I'm pretty like, oh, boy, you'd have to give up, next year's first round pick for such a high move up.
Yeah, I would sooner
Your
resign
reaction would be
Will.
funny.
I would sooner resign Will Harris before letting that happen. That is how strongly I feel about that.
That man's name is cursed to thy channel.
Well,
Oh, my. I got gonna lie, man. I don't dislike a single player in the team now that Will Harris is not on it. Isn't that weird? But it's
yeah,
100% true. It's not
yeah,
that I hate the guy. It's just he's so bad.
yeah. Everybody has a role now, and like can improve.
Lions dropped from the Packers. That's right. Any thoughts on Andrew Phillips at 64, Ant?
Hey, they like the Kentucky players, so I mean, it's quite possible we got Pascal from there. Was Stenberg? Well, no, he wasn't. But again, so with these day 2 guys, there are just more guys I like at day 2 than Andrew Phillips. Again, he's a good player. I've not done as much work on him as the others, but if we were to get him, I wouldn't be upset. There are just guys I prefer in that position from a purely personal standpoint.
Bobo, you and I both. I really want a defensive player at pick 29. I know, like, you can say any other player, wide receiver. My personal opinion is I want a corner at 29. That's me.
Like, if
You may
Newton
not.
falls to 29 and you draft him, that would be the robbery of all robberies. Like, you've already won the draft then and there. If someone that big falls that far, you've won the draft then and there.
And it can happen. That's the crazy part. It legitimately could happen because there is so many offensive players. Say you're right. Say there's 20 taken, 20 offensive players before 29, right? So then you just got to have 8 defensive players we got to look out for. Somebody's going to fall.
Yeah, exactly. Like 4 or
It'll
5
have
of
to
them are
be.
going to be corners. So
Yeah. Someone's going to fall. It's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. Let's see. I'm hoping that Penix and Bo Nix go for the push. I think that I think that Penix is going to be drafted in the top 20. So I think you got obviously the Bears. They're taking their quarterback right there, and then Washington's. I don't know which one they're going to take. They could take either. Then Drake May right after that, and then you got J.J. McCarthy, and then Michael Penix. I think that's 5 quarterbacks in the first round, and that's good for the Lions. More quarterbacks is less player for a defensive talent to not be there. So that's what I got. I think 7 wide receivers and offensive linemen. It's going to push somebody to 29. So I hope Penix goes before Lions pick. Keep pushing.
I just don't know where it's going to be. Like, I can't see Peyton's not going to settle for a second-rate quarterback. Like, he'll ruin his Broncos career if he hangs it all on Penix. The Raiders, I don't think Antonio Pierce would do that. Like, again, if you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, you're kind of hitching your wagon to that. And they're not in positions to be hitching their wagons to second-tier quarterbacks in the first round. So I just don't know. I don't see what team's going to do it.
Do you think they changed the font in the end zone with the new uniform? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. If it changes, it's a little bit, but I don't see it being a drastic change. Let's see. Would you take Edrin Cooper at 29?
I love the player, but that's way too high. Just personally, I'd like if he's there in the second round, yeah, great, but not at 29.
Second round talent. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the same boat as because I love Peyton Wilson as well because I'm an NC State guy. But like for these outside linebacker hybrid types, it's too high for them for what they're capable of right now. Maybe the same with Peyton as well. So If you were to trade back, however, they would be the sort of targets you'd start looking at.
Vegas has 21.5 offensive players in round one. Yeah, that's quite a bit, but it's more like what offensive players before the Lions pick. So I think there could be a wide receiver at Kansas City take too. So yeah,
See, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the end. It's like those end three, like Baltimore, Sanford. The team's going to trade in for that. Could be where the quarterbacks go. If someone wants to trade in for the 5th-year option, because a lot of people said the Giants might
very
do
well.
it. Like that might be where they go. Because you never know. The teams very rarely pick in that last 5-6 category. Someone's always going to trade in for the 5th-year option for somebody. It just depends who or what.
If Penix is sitting there at 29, would you consider trading out? Team want to go up there? I would consider it too.
Providing none of the elite defensive talent is on the board. If Versa's gone and Newton's gone and like the top corners are gone, then I'm happy to go back. If the defensive talent's there, I don't want to. But if it's down to Chop or Darius, then yeah, I'll wave that pick goodbye. I don't want no to do with them there. Go back.
See, if Chop's there, I'll wave goodbye. If Darius is there, I think they'd take it, but you're right. We don't know. And if Penix is there, if we get a good deal, I don't mind trading out. Because I know that Brad Holmes don't play. He's good at finding talent. But I think we do trade up. I really do. That's my personal belief. I really like. I'm just going off gut here. I think they trade up for Terran Arnold. That's my personal thought. With the new kickoff rules, is it worth to draft a return specialist with a 7th-round pick? Yeah, why not? Like, if you're going to get a position. So when you're talking about a 7th-round pick, you're just talking about finding any sort of talent that you feel like you can work with or has a specialty that you can utilize. Kick returner would be one of those things, right? But we already have a lot of fast guys like Khalif Raymond, Jameson Williams. So, and they very well could draft a guy before that that's extremely fast that can use for special. But look, if there is a special speed, I have no problem with that. You're talking about a 7th-round pick, right? Like, if they can bring something elite to you or just utilize something, it's a 7th-round pick. I don't care. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever. You know, I'm not going to complain about a 7th-round pick.
No, there's certainly something, and there are guys back there like Anthony Gould. He'd be the one who'd stand out at that point, and he's a receiver as well. So you kind of do so. Those smaller returnable guys are getting more popular, and there's more you can do with them. So there's certainly options to be had.
Giants aren't taking a quarterback. Well, rumor is the Giants and the Vikings are trying to trade up. Giants has been trying to get J.J. McCarthy. That's what like the newest rumor is.
So I don't think they take one at 6. I think you're more likely going to see them come up in the end of the first and grab one of the 2nd-tier guys, should he? Because in their mind, it's fine for them, because you're obviously going to give Daniel Jones this year. In fact, hell, I don't even think he's going to be ready for the season, is he? But if you're going to take Penix or Nix and you want to blend them in and give them a year before you do cut ties with Daniel Jones, that's kind of perfect for them, really. So they should probably be going after this 2nd tier of quarterback.
Yeah, if they can't get up there to a top pick and get one of those top guys, I think they do. Like you said, I think they come back in the end of the first round if one of those dudes is up there and trade up there and get it. I'm not saying that's what I would do for the Giants. I think the Giants are a mess. I think they're looking like one of the worst teams in football.
They only have 6 picks in the draft this year as well. So if you're going to go even if you're going from 6 to 4. You are going to lose your day 2 picks as a bare minimum, where you're going to have to give up a high pick next year to do so. You don't have many picks outside. You're probably going to be down to at least 4 picks by the time you're done. One of them been in the top 100, which is your quarterback. It's nonsensical for them when they can go after the next group and they not have to give that much up.
Yeah, I think it's something that I don't. The Giants are dumpster fire right now, and if I'm the Giants, I'm just picking the best player available. Your whole team blows. That's my or trading backwards to get more picks. For their team sucks right now. It's bad.
I mean, I don't think the Cardinals are going to pick up. I think the Cardinals are going to be the one that trade out, but I actually think the Giants will trade up, but they'll go to 5 for Marvin Harrison because I don't think Marvin Harrison's going at 4 and they need a receiver. Because I think the Cards are going to give that up because they can rinse somebody for JJ McCarthy. Like they will be able to get a literal bounty at 4. They've already got like 7 picks in the top 100 as well, so they'd be well set.
You said it's the dumbest rumor. It's a legit rumor. It's not that you can think it's a dumb, but they do like JJ McCarthy. Let's see here. Show of hands. Who all thinks Holmes trade up to number 12 again? I don't think 12, but I say 15. That's where I think.
I think 12's a good shout because what 12's the Broncos, isn't it? They don't have a second round pick this year. They don't have much draft capital at all from the trade, so they're desperate.
Team blows.
They shouldn't stay there. I think they'll be open for business and they will consider going back some, and even for next year's capital, not even for this year. But they need picks desperately, so it's a possibility.
Hey man, they got their future quarterback in Zach Wilson.
Yeah, he's gonna get there, and he's gonna say, "Well, they promised me I was going to Mile High," and then he's not gonna realize that it wasn't the Mile High in the sky, but the ground.
Dude, Denver Broncos are doing some questionable stuff. There's a lot of teams out there. You're like, God, they suck. And I'm glad I'm not in that situation.
The only reason you let Russell Wilson go in that scenario, you're either going to get your quarterback of the future, which they can't afford to do. They can't afford to trade up for a quarterback of the future. So you're not going to do that, or you're tanking blatantly. So I think they're going to blatantly tank this year because that's what they should do. Because then they can get a quarterback next year and just get some good players this year. Trade back, get some picks, start building your roster, have a rubbish year, go get your QB next year.
Minnesota will trade up with the Chargers. 4 of 5 first picks will be quarterbacks. I agree. I think, I really do believe Minnesota's trying to trade up there. Same with the Giants. I think Minnesota has a better shot of getting something because first off, they have a lot of draft picks and their offense is pretty good. They just need a quarterback. So we'll see. Hopefully they don't get one because I don't want the Vikings to get a quarterback.
I don't think it's going to be. See why I don't think it's going to be the Chargers. If I'm the Cardinals. And I know that Minnesota is trying to give up several picks, maybe more, to go to the Chargers. And I'll say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to give a cut rate discount, and I'm going to move back with the Giants. And the Giants are going to go and get your quarterback. I think they'll hold them over a barrel because there's no guarantee that at 5 they'll get a quarterback. So I think if you're Minnesota, you've got to go to the Cardinals because if you don't, like the Cardinals will just cut a deal with somebody else, and you'll have wasted all that for nothing.
He says, I think it's more East Coast media wanted JJ to the Giants. If he busts and add to Joe's bust, seems like more smoke. Look, I probably want to go the quarterback route for the Giants, man, because I'm just looking for BPA. They just kind of fixed their whole talent on there is pretty bad. It's really bad. A quarterback's not going to help it out.
So one of the funniest videos I saw was the Giants fans reacting to the Daniel Jones pick, which was absolutely hilarious. I think that was a terrible pick. I think it would be even worse if they pick JJ. Not because JJ's bad, but because it is not what they need right now.
Whoever they get at quarterback, if they're to draft JJ McCarthy, dude, he's going to get destroyed, man. He got nothing. Yeah. Like if JJ goes to Minnesota, I think he could look pretty good. If he goes to the Giants, man, they're going to look like a dumpster fire. They need to go. They need to really just. Yeah, that organization right now is in a world of hurt. They got a lot of things they got to do. What do you think about Renardo Green, the safety?
He's a corner, isn't he? I've not seen much of him. I can't say much. There's some players I just never get round to. I can't really do much on it.
Would you rather draft a linebacker or running back? I don't think we draft a running back because we're pretty good right there. So I'd go linebacker maybe for special teams help or potentially like a guy that has some sort of special in the 6th round, like James Houston type of thing. I don't want either the positions. I got to keep it 100 with you. I feel like we got good running back room. We got a good linebacker room. But if you're looking for a specialist, 6th round, it's any real position, in all honesty. Just something that can make the depth better. So between the two, I'd go linebacker just because I really don't see a need at all for running back. What about you?
It depends on the player. So I'm just thinking off the top of my head, so that's going to be like Cody Schrader at running back. It's going to be like Aaron Casey at linebacker. Like,
Who makes the team? Like, if you're looking at because if you look at a running move right now, we
need a running back 3. We need a running back 3.
We got Craig Reynolds and we got Bam Knight under contract.
Yeah.
So it's.
But then we've got depth linebackers. Like I'm, you got.
We don't have an Anthony Pittman. That's really about it. Both positions we really don't need. Let's keep one on you. We're pulling straws out of a position that's pretty strong.
I think I'd say running back out the corner because I think there's better players back there, but just me.
JJ, he could go too. I don't, I just know that I do believe it's going to be 4 out of 5 is going to be quarterbacks.
I'd JJ to the Patriots. He strikes me as
the Patriots. Yeah, he could. Yeah,
he strikes me as a Patriot type quarterback. Like they want to run the ball first, throw second. That's what he's done at Michigan. They're not going to require him to throw 30, 40 times every game. He'll be able to blend himself in. It feels like JJ to the Patriots would be the one.
Yeah, JJ or Drake May, I think to the Patriots would make sense from what they're going to do over there. Don't really know what quarterback will go to what, but I think we all can agree it's probably 4 out of 5 is going to be quarterbacks in the 5 picks. And Marvin Harrison Jr. will be one of the non-quarterbacks in the first 5.
Yeah. Like schematically fitting, like Drake May plays a pro spread. That's not what Patriots do. Like I think it would be JJ there, and then 4th quarterback would be Drake May, even though he shouldn't be.
Yeah, either way. It's not really the talent of the player. It's what the team wants, what they want in a quarterback. Yeah. And sometimes we don't know. So who do you think winning the MVP next year? I think you putting money on Stroud's smart. That's what I'd put money on for MVP. I think I would put it on Stroud as well, man. Like if you're not thinking about it right, I think Stroud, because he was looking really good as a rookie. I think he's going to continue to look good. Their team's good. That'd be a good bet to put on him for MVP. Offensive player of the year, how about Jahmyr Gibbs? Maybe. Hashtag FGB, is there any Cliff Averill type of edges in this draft? Someone that can pass rush, get to the quarterback, and is not good in the run game? Well, that's what Cliff Averill is, right? He was the quarterback type of guy. He gets the quarterback, but was not good in run stuffing. And I like Cliff Averill. I do, man. He literally threw my daughter on his shoulders, was running around on a football or a basketball court with her. I think he's great. But, yeah, there's definitely edges like that here. Sure. Hutch, Latu, Houston, Davenport. That would be nice. I do like Latu, just the injury concern there. What about you? What do you think about Latu?
I love him. He's got the best pass rush arsenal in the class. He is relentless. He's great. He's not going to fall far enough for us, I don't think. Like he should be right up there. So, but he's a great player. I would agree. If he'd end up here, like we'd be dangerous, man. Like completely dangerous.
Do we draft a big body outside wide receiver? I think. What do you mean by big body? I think 6'2" is probably the size they're going to go for. Not 6'5" or under 6 foot. So if you're talking about like a 6'2" receiver, I think they could do that. 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", in that area. So yeah, I do think they would go wide receiver for a big body. Just depends on what round. They brought in some receivers. Xavier Legette, who they literally just brought in today, is a bigger receiver, 6'1", almost 6'2".
No, he's been brought in previously. You can't bring guys in the last week before the draft, but he's been at some point.
Yeah, yep. So he'd been here. They met with him. They met some with the other couple receivers too. So, yep, I think they could. Thoughts of USM Braden McGregor? Hard motor, could be a good developmental late pick. I don't know McGregor that much. Have you watched a lot of his tape? I'm not a Michigan fan.
I think a lot of the developmental Michigan guys, I think, because I was doing this the other day, I reckon Harbaugh is going to draft at least 4 Michigan players. Like, he's one of the ones who would stand out as a guy, because you think who they've got on the pass rush there.
Blake Corum's going to be a Charger.
Oh, yeah. So, Blake Corum's going to be a Charger.
I'll put money on that right now.
Blake Corum's going to be a Charger. I absolutely know that. The Ladarius Henderson, he's going to be a Charger. I know that, because they need offensive line depth. I think Braden McGregor's going to be one as well. So, yeah. I think there's going to be at least 4 guys he drafts from Michigan, and they'll let him do it.
They got rid of Austin Eckler, Blake Corum. Come on in. That seems
pick
exactly
42 or wherever it is. Yeah,
yeah,
that 40 pick. That's as the short thing as possible that's going to happen.
He says Chop Robinson's going to be an average player at best. I agree. I'm not too high. I'm not too high on Chop, man. I'm just not. Yeah. I want to see production on the field. I don't care about physical size and all this garbage. That's when you make a mistake.
Exactly. Like, I would sooner take a guy like Javon Solomon. If you gave me a straight option between the two of them, I would take Javon Solomon over the likes of Chop, because I know Javon can do it. You know, he's a smaller school guy. You know, he's not got the supreme athletic profile build that Chop does, but he's going to be better in the NFL. He just is.
Oh, Wolva said that Mike Jones says he went to his high school. That's cool. That's cool, man. Let's see. Homegrown players step up when playing in the room. Take Darius Robinson at 29. Look at Aiden and how much he plays. That's kind of what I think if they stay there, but that's the show, folks. We're going to be live for the draft in 2 days. This is it. No more mock drafts for me. I am done. I think Ant-Man is done. I think we're all just waiting for Thursday. Tomorrow I'll drop a video on both on Lions Nation Unite, my personal channel. It'll probably be a draft video, just talking about whatever the latest is. Then Thursday's the big day. What do you got going on for your channel next couple days so the people can check you guys out?
For me personally, that's me done for the draft now. I'm going to sit home and enjoy it this week and have go for. I'll be on Twitter, so if you want to come in. So I'm part of Roar of the Lions UK. They were a group of Detroit Lions from across the pond. You'll come find me on Twitter. You'll see me active on there. A couple of the guys are over at the draft there, so if you want to meet some of the Brits, then you know, go search them out. They're not too hard to find at all. But yeah, I'm just going to be having a beer, enjoying the draft, watching the GOAT stream with Micro Mike, because obviously that's where the best guys are to be found for this sort of stuff. And, you know, that's going to be a good weekend.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, bro. You're the GOAT there. Before I leave, says, how much do you hate mock? I like mock draft time, but you get tired. As a content creator, you're kind of tired of it now. I was tired of last week. It was like, okay, I'm kind of done.
It's been nice this year, because it started a lot later. Usually we'd have started 2 months before we did, and that would have dragged. This year has been just about perfect. Like, I've just had my fill of mock drafting. I'm done. And as soon as this is done, it's next year's college class I'm starting on. So, you know, the grind never stops.
Yeah, it never stops. And yes, heavies are going to be hanging out with us on Thursday. Spenmo Rack, Speakeasy, Everything King, Joseph D on myself, Herman Moore. And I'm sure there's going to be Michigan players there. Former Michigan players are there last time, and Lions players. So come on down, man. And then I'm going to try to get up to Detroit on day 2, because Mount Pleasant's halfway to Detroit from where I live. So it's might as well. I appreciate everybody hanging out. If I see you on Thursday, epic, come on. If you see us, come on, hang out. With that said, folks,
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it.